It's decision time. I'm at the stage now where I have to decide what my project is going to deliver. I'm managing a project and documenting it as I go so that I can capture all the things that go well and everything else. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any part of that journey. The objective of the project is to create and deliver 3 project management digital courses. But I started this project with no idea of what kind of courses they were going to be or even what platform they were going to be on. In other words, it's a very vague project. Tell me you don't know what that's like. So now we're going to figure out our next steps by doing an options appraisal. I've got 2 decisions to make. The platform that's going to host the training courses and the topics of the training courses themselves. So I'm going to show you now how I go about making that decision. And don't worry, I'm not going to delve too far into course creation or anything like that. This video is about decision making, complex decision making in projects. And that's going to prove to be a useful skill for you. I think the first decision I need to make is on the content. If I choose the platform first, I'm a little worried that might constrain some of my content choices. So I'd much rather choose the content and then find maybe multiple platforms to suit it. So here are the candidates. These are the potential courses I could end up making. Introduction to Project Management, Introduction to Project Risk Management, Microsoft Project for Beginners, How to Be a Project Sponsor, Get Your First Project Management Job, Corporate Survival Course for Project Managers, Introduction to PMO, Project Management Lessons from Being a YouTuber. So do I pick the easiest one or the one that's most profitable? How about the one that I've already had feedback on and suggestions to go and make? Or maybe I should pick the one that's got the least risk. How about the most unique in the marketplace? Or maybe I should just pick the one that most aligns to my personal values. As you can see, this is not straightforward. There are many criteria that I can make this decision based on, and those criteria are not all equally weighted. Alignment to my values is way more important to me than uniqueness in the marketplace. Being less complex means it will take less time to make, and that's worth a lot more to me than profitability at the moment. I'm not saying that the money-making potential is completely unimportant to me, but time is a critical factor. I need to select my criteria for assessing my options, and then I need to apply weightings to them that reflect the importance of each criteria. I created a simple analysis tool for this exercise, and here it is. I'm going to make a confession to you. I did consider for a moment, just for a moment, showing every step of how I built this tool and how I pondered over every single entry and basically turn this video into a 60-minute epic full of adverts, obviously. But I decided not to. I thought that would be damn boring, and I wanted to value your time more than my potential income from advertising revenues. And I'm going to share this tool with you as well. Just follow the link in the description. And that's got to be worth you hitting the like button, right? What you can see here is my decisions being made by the numbers. And I'll be honest, it cut out one possibility I was actually quite keen on doing. Okay, so the criteria I've decided to use are alignment to values, load time to create, uniqueness, and how marketable I think the course is. I've applied weightings as well to each of these items. So I've said that alignment to my values is the most important item. The speed to create is going to be a really important one as well. Uniqueness is quite important to me in this. And how marketable it is of lesser importance, but it's still quite important. So it's still got a reasonable score there of 7. The way that this works is I put a user score in against each of these courses, against each of these criteria. And then in the next column across, you'll see that the weighted score is then multiplied by the user score, and that gives a much higher number. And then in the last column, I have a total score section, which adds up all of the weighted scores. Now, what this has found is Getting Your First Project Manager Job, Corporate Survival Course for Project Managers, and How to Be a Project Sponsor ended up getting the highest scores. But I did have a preference for the lessons from being a YouTuber because I've already done a number of presentations on that topic. So I thought that would be a really fast one to make. I don't think it's very marketable as a course. I like the idea of doing the introduction to PMO, but there are already organizations such as the House of PMO that are doing very good work in that space. So introductions to project management and risk management have absolutely no uniqueness at all in the market. There is a lot of competition in that area. Now it's interesting, the one's got the lowest score on here is Project for Beginners. I think that is a very marketable course, but it would take ages to record it, certainly to do to the quality that I'd want to. From my experience, whenever I've made a video where I've been creating something, say in a spreadsheet or in a PowerPoint presentation, it takes so much time to get it just right. And I know that if I was going to make a decent course that I would charge money for, I would probably need the entire time that I've got for this project just to do the one course on Microsoft Project. Now let's go back to the 3 winners and see what they had in common. They don't take too long to create. For the most part, they're quite unique, but they're really aligned to my values. Based on the messages that I get from my audience, I know there are a lot of people who watch my videos who are looking for their first project management job. So I really want to make something specifically for them. And then I know a lot of people who are already in the job and they're having difficulties. They're bumping into things in the corporate world that don't seem to make sense in alignment to how we imagine projects to work. So I wanted to make something about that as well. And then how to be a project sponsor is motivated by, yes, that's aligned to my values. It's also aligned to a pet peeve. The fact is, I don't think there are that many good sponsors out in the world. There are exceptions, there are some who are very good, and I've had the benefit of working with some really good ones. But I know from what I've seen and from what I've heard, there are a lot of very poor sponsors out there who don't know the first thing about being a sponsor. They might be really good in the rest of their job, but project sponsor, they need some training. Right, I've picked my courses, I just need to pick which platforms to put them on. And in my opinion, that's going to be a much simpler decision than this was. So let's choose a platform. In this case, I narrowed it down to 3 options. Teachable. They allow me to determine my own content and price. I'd have to pay a fee for using their platform, and I don't have a browsing audience to attract. I'd need to do all of my own marketing. Skillshare, who are much more restrictive on their content. They've got some pretty strict guidelines. Their site works a little like Netflix, where the customer pays a subscription and they can watch any content that's on there, and the teacher receives a payment based on how minutes of their content was watched per month. Udemy, a teaching platform where you have freedom over content, but the prices tend to be more under their control. They have a library of content that people can search and browse. If someone finds a course on there that they like, they may choose to buy it. I don't think I'm going to go with Udemy, just because of the lack of control over the final price, and from what I've heard, the teachers don't exactly get a great cut of the sales. I had considered using Skillshare, and I really do quite like their Netflixy kind of model, but they've done something that's really annoyed me. I uploaded a course there a couple of years ago, and I went to check on it recently to see how it's going, and it's been deleted. And I never received a notification from them. I didn't get an email. I've got no idea why it's not on their library anymore. So whilst I enjoy being a Skillshare customer, I do not think that they are a reliable partner, and I'm not going to use them. So that leaves me with Teachable. And the downside is there is a price that has to be paid for using their platform, but for that price you get complete control over how you apply your content, how you price it, and how you market it. So now I know what platform I'm using and I know what content I'm making. But the next video is going to look at how I choose my approach. For example, will I try to crunch all of the building activity and create all the courses in one go and release them all at once? Or should I take a slower approach, make one course, learn from it, make another course, learn from it, and then make the final course? That'll take longer to do, and that'll give me a conflict between time and quality. And those are 2 very important factors to me. I think I've already made my decision on this, to be honest with you. And I hate to be a tease, but there's only one way for you to find out. Subscribe to the channel and enjoy the next video.